You know, it's a nice thing to have a beautiful garden. And this time of year, a lot of people's gardens are looking pretty beautiful. I was blessed when I came here to have some folks to help me out in really kind of cultivating a little flower garden in front of my house. It's actually just right on the other side of you. I don't know if you can see it here. There's some of the flowers down there. But what's interesting about it is that you have to know how to take care of a garden if you're going to have one. And one thing that I found out this year was that you have to do things like prune off the dead heads of the flowers or the old parts of them, either at the end of the year in the fall or in the beginning of the year in the spring. And probably some of you might even correct me on that. I'm not really sure. But I found it's like, these don't look that good. And I didn't know what to do with that. So I had to ask for some more help. But that's necessary so that new growth can come about. We were just doing some work around the church a couple of weeks ago, and someone said, well, some of these wild grasses have to come down a little bit. And so we trimmed them down, and that allowed for us to see that there was new growth underneath and that it was going to come up. But the other old growth, even though it was still tall, it had to be pruned away so that the new stuff could come up and flourish. So is true in the spiritual life, and what Jesus says today, that he is the vine and we are the branches, and that the Father has to prune off the branches that aren't bearing fruit, and that we have to be pruned so that we can bear more fruit. I think this is one of those passages that it's okay, we can hear it, but we don't want to really understand what it means, because being pruned, it doesn't sound like a very exciting or fun thing to go through. I think being pruned means that we have to be able to sacrifice ourselves, as in like me, Michael, I need to be sacrificed so that Jesus can live more through me. That whatever my ideas and my wishes and my desires are in a human fleshly level, they have to be subservient to whatever Jesus desires to do through me. And it doesn't mean that we don't get to be who we are, but we get to be the best version of who we are with Jesus being that vine that works through us, that we become a branch of the vine, that people might look at us and might see Jesus rather than just seeing someone else who's striving to do their own will in the world. It's necessary for us to be pruned in this world. What does that look like, perhaps? That could be, sometimes we have our own ideas of what truth is or what is real and what's not real, but we can hold to those things, but only so insofar as we test them with Jesus, with Scripture, with church teaching. If we look at all of that and say, can I hold this view? Can this be true or not? Those are the sorts of things that we have to continue to be pruned by, that we can take criticism when it comes our way, when it's given to us with love. Because Jesus tells us that our whole life is a series of being pruned. To me, that's exciting because it means that there's always something new for me to learn. It might not be easy in those moments, but I know that with Jesus working through me, I can bear much fruit. So I pray that that's the case for all of us today, that we might be pruned for the glory of God.